Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to start the final push to make this truck 100% functional, even if it's not exactly perfect. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you who's hung in there with me, who's visited the channel, who's watched all the videos, who maybe just stopped by one time to watch. That's fine too. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. We built this channel essentially off of racing, which if you can see here in the background, we got some trophies over here. That will be coming back very soon. And if you subscribe, you're going to see a lot of racing content over the summer because I'm going to be racing again full-time at Stafford Motor Speedway, and the car's coming in here ASAP if the snow melts a little further and the mud kind of tightens up a little bit because we have so much snow. It is just, oh my God, the mud is terrible. It is so bad. We had 60 degrees yesterday and it melted most of it. It's going to be 66 today and sunny. So that should take care of a hell of a lot of it, but the mud situation is going to be a little bit different. That's going to be pretty bad. If you'd like to help the channel directly, not just by subscribing, because that helps with the algorithm, with reach, with getting me to new people, with finding new subscribers and all that stuff, you can go over to GleasonBrosRacing.com. Hence the trophies. We have t-shirts, hats, stickers. We have koozies, mugs, tumblers. I don't know. We have a bunch of stuff over there. I'm trying to make some new stuff when I can squeeze some time in to do this because between this, my day job, family life, and my daily driver breaking down constantly because it's an American piece of crap. I'm sorry to say, but it is. It's been a little difficult to put new stuff up there, but I am working on it. Trust me, it's on one of the burners. That's a direct way to help if you go there and get some sweet merch. The quality of the products is good. The shipping is a little slow, but it will get to you. Trust me. Anyway, we're back to work on this, and I have the last piece of the puzzle. It is this box right here. It is a turn signal stalk. Or switch, as they call it. And it weighs about 10 times as much as the one that's on my car. And when I get, or the truck at least, when I get to pulling that one off, I'm going to show you the difference between a quality product and what I bought. Now, the one that I'd purchased for the truck, I bought off of Amazon. Oh, it's got a pigtail for the flasher. That's cool. But the one that I bought that's currently on the truck that does not work came from Amazon, and it was about $18. Oh, God. This that I just purchased is $60. And let me tell you something. There is a huge difference in the quality just by touching it. This thing is heavy. Yeah, the bottom's different too, where you can ground it to the steering column. Yeah, this thing is a much nicer piece. And from what I looked at, the wiring diagram is actually more informative as well. Like, this thing definitely a little bit easier to read. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to go label all of the lights. Hopefully they match up in color because they do have all the same colors as the other one. This is all the same lighting wire colors. That would really be helpful. So I was walking around and I found the box with the wiring diagram for the other set. So what I was going to do was just kind of match them up because they tell you the wire colors on each of them. Let's see. Left front, yellow. Front left, 4, yellow. Well, that's a good sign. I'm going to keep poking through this thing and making sure that it's actually the same. And if it is the same, that'll make my life a heck of a lot easier. Okay, if you've been with me for a while, you'll know that I like to do things in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook the battery up and see if this thing worked while you guys watch, and you can catch my reaction. Geez, this battery's always loose. That's good enough for now. No random clicking noises. Okay, that's a good start. Because last time with the old one, anytime I hooked the battery up, it would just do this, just clicking randomly. There would be no lights, but it would just click randomly. Okay, I think power works. Let's use the key just to make sure. Okay, power is on. Nothing. Nothing. Okay, I guess we got some more figuring out to do. No, brake lights don't work. Nothing works. All right, well, I'm gonna have to check to make sure that the connection to power is good, as well as everything else, so. Well, that's disappointing. All right, take two. I did a little bit of digging and found a blown inline fuse to the turn signal setup, probably from the last one when I accidentally grounded it to something. Popped the fuse, never worked again. Makes sense now. So I'm going to hook it back up, see what happens. Hopefully not the same as it did before. Oh boy. There's a whole lot of sparking for no good reason. Hopefully that was not another fuse blowing for no good reason. Because if that happened, I'd be so angry. Okay, let's see. Nothing. 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 Something, but that's headlights. That should be on a different circuit. Okay. While I'm standing here, let's just check the fuse. And it's blown. Right away. So now I have no fuse. Great. Why is the fuse blowing? Now I don't have any more of these fuses. 2 fuses down. And now I have to go look for some kind of wiring issue that I don't know what it is. No wonder the last one failed. I'm at a point where I don't know what to do. I have no idea. I looked at the directions and I completely copied every little bit of wiring that I possibly could. Every single thing, every circuit, everything worked. At least at one point, I know everything worked at some point. I even tried grounding the body of it. I tried opening it up to inspect for damage. Everything looked completely perfect. I used my test probe, which I think is sitting over here. And I tested certain things, like I tested to make sure that this light was still active inside this turn signal mechanism, because I guess the flasher relay needs that as a ground, so I made sure to at least check it. That did nothing. It did work, but it didn't change anything. This flasher relay comes with a little ground out the top, and I grounded it to a bare metal spot. Still nothing. I did that before I hooked it up. So I'm at a loss. I've been looking through the entire wiring system. Everything is completely, wired up. It just doesn't work. I'm actually making progress. I'm finding out a lot about the bulbs and stuff in the back of the truck. Now, what I did was I figured out that these are actually steel. So I went and I completely cleaned them up because they were rusty, and I rubbed dielectric grease in them just so they wouldn't rot. I figured this out. I took my test light, and these are the 2-prong. So you got the one runner. These are 1154s, by the way. See, 1154 right there? Okay. I tested the side of the light with the ground, put it on the side, and then I put my test probe onto each individual terminal, and if it has a good, solid connection, this thing will beep. It was only beeping on one side. So I put some new bulbs in it that I had in this box from my dad, and I stuck them in, right? And I put some grease on them. I did the right thing, try to weatherproof everything. I got in the cab, I hit the switch, the turn signals turned on, and then died. And so I tried this side. Turn signals turned on and then died. And I'm like, why? What's happening? Well, dummy, if you see that, it says 6 volt, 1154. So I now have to take all these blown bulbs and throw them away. And I have to go to the auto parts store as soon as my camera focuses. And I have to go buy 12 volt, 1154 lights. That would sure help, wouldn't it? It was just really weird to me that I could pull the switch and the running lights worked. Like, okay, that's supposed to happen. Then I hit the other switch and nothing happens. And I'm like, that's strange. So then, you know, all of that happened, and I never even took into account the idea that those could be 6 volt bulbs. I had no idea they were 6 volt bulbs. Now, clearly, I should have at least had the thought that they would be, because the front headlights were 6 volt headlights. Might have missed that one a little bit. So I'm going to go take a very quick trip to Napa in my backup car, which is my Crown Vic, because it's the only thing I have that works that's not a truck. And I'm going to go get some 1154 bulbs, and I will be back to try again. Okay, I stopped over at the local auto parts store, put some 1157s in, because apparently 1154 is the 6 volt version of this exact light bulb. 1157 is the 12 volt version. So what we're going to do is now, I think the battery's still hooked up. Yep. Let's see if it works. It works! What's the front look like? It doesn't work because those are probably 12 volt or a 6 volt bulb as well. But that's okay. I thought ahead. I bought 12 volt, 1157 amber bulbs because these are clear light bulbs. Or at least clear light covers, I should say. Let me go chuck those in and shut this damn thing off. It's still blinking at me. But it works! Uh-oh. Oh, okay, it shuts off. Okay, good. The last one didn't shut off. This one does. Of course, yeah. Can't have anything nice. Brand new glass lenses for these that my father bought. And I put a big, you know, foam pad down and everything. Make sure it didn't hit the ground if I dropped it, and it would be okay, which I did over there. I dropped it on the ground. That one's fine. This one bounced and hit the jack and shattered. So, tremendous. Now I gotta go spend more money on that. But, on the good side, the lights work. Well, since we're good and angry, we might as well try the last thing, which is the brake lights. If I could swing my giant hoof up into here. And, hey, they work! You can see against the wall that they're lighting up. Look at that. All right. Okay, so let me go put the lenses back on. I'll put that back together, and at least if I just need one lens, we're not doing too badly. Okay, it's really hard to get you in anywhere because I'm on the jack stands. I can't move the truck forward to do this right now. But I'm going to go in and hit the brakes and the turn signals, okay? You can barely see that one over there. When it lights up, I'm sure it'll be easier to see. But I'm going to go do that. You tell me through, I don't know, psychic energy or something, whether or not that actually is turning on, okay? Here we go. Brakes. Signals. I think I can tell from here that they work. By the way, do these work? It seems to work. I'm seeing reflections back here. That's pretty... Oh, I left the lights on. That's not good. But that's pretty cool. Otherwise, lights off. I gotta have an indicator light that tells me the lights are on. That wouldn't be a bad idea at all, you know. I got this unused spot right here. I should put a little indicator, like an old jewel light or something, to tell me that the headlights are on, you know? That would really be a smart idea. I mean, when I get out, I could always look back like my Crown Vic. The Crown Vic does not tell me if the lights are on. Every other car I own, the world's coming to an end if you leave the lights on. But yeah, that's kind of an issue. Guys, we're now at the point where if the battery's hooked up, you can sit in the seat, turn the key, barely get the thing to run until it warms up, pull it into gear, hit the gas, drive it, use your turn signals, headlights, and brake lights. It's a functional car now. It's literally a functional vehicle. I said car, truck, clearly, duh. But we only have one more thing to do just to make it pretty solid, and that's to kind of loom some of the wires up. I mean, right here you can see we got some danglers hanging, and that needs to be loomed up and taped and kind of zip tied into place and weatherproofed and all sorts of stuff. But we also need to get the brakes a little bit better, which since it's only about 2 o'clock, I got all day, and whatever I got left in the day for sunlight, after I'm done with this thing, I'm going to try to get my Jeep going again, but who the hell knows what's going to happen with that. I bought something off of Temu that might help us. Maybe it won't. We're going to give it a shot, though. Now, I use Temu for a lot of stuff. Like, I bought a bunch of switches. We're going to actually replace the fan switch with one of these as well. Electrical connectors. I bought a bunch of male and female spade connectors because they work just fine. I also bought this, which is our brake tool. It's a one-way check valve thing with hoses attached to it and stuff. And I bought all sorts of electrical stuff. Like, I bought even more switches and a ton more switches and stuff like that. But it's also really good for buying these little sanding and polishing discs. Like, I buy a bunch of these in bulk off of Temu. And I also get, like, not just the sanding discs, but, you know, those little, like, polishy ones, kind of like that one. And like those. I'm sorry I didn't get them out of the container first, and it's kind of fuzzy, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm hoping that a one-way check ball maybe helps. I don't know if it will or not. If it does, I'm going to add it to the collection. If not, it was like $3 on Temu. I don't care. So I'm not going to be out too much. That's how they make money, you know, these cheap Chinese outfitters. That's how they make money. It's worth a try if it works, but if it doesn't, oh well. But that's how they get $3, $5, a million times over, and they stay in business. So quality items are hard to find, but you know what? If something works for cheap, at least that's kind of the American dream. So we're going to go ahead and grab the old tube here and put her together and rip the wheels off and find another quart of brake fluid, because I'm probably going to need it, because I'm just going to go through a bunch of it. But making progress is exactly what I wanted to do today, and I'm very happy to be finally making some progress. Hopefully it translates over to my Jeep. I won't cross my fingers, but I can be hopeful. All right, I got a little bit froggy, and I decided to do a couple of things to make myself feel better, even though we've had a little bit of a win with the brake lights working, turn signals working, everything. Even the hazards work, the headlights work, even though we broke that damn lens. That stinks, but let me show you. I washed the windows. They're not perfect. There's a little streaky because I didn't use glass cleaner. I used super clean because of how bad it was. You can see it's a little streaky. It is what it is. Then I started wiping down the interior. Got the windows, but then I did the roof. Remember how it was all white flecked and gross and like moldy and junk? Well, she cleaned her right up. I mean, these windows, it almost feels like they're not in the truck because they're so clean. But look at that, huh? Gosh, she's becoming a real vehicle. Oh, and I also wiped down the steering wheel because it looked like mice had run over their own pee and tracked it all over the place for the last 30 years. That's pretty good. It's even got a little patina itself. Look at that, huh? Sorry, I can't get over that. That's great. I love that so much. The only thing really left on the agenda is like 3 things. We got to loom the wires under the dash to get them out of the way, so that's good. I did the ones back here. That's done. I found a piece that was left over from when we did it before. Then I got to get the brakes bled again. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to do that before they actually feel good. They do work. It's just that they don't feel good because I haven't had a second person here to kind of do the up, down, and do a manual bleed on it, which is the best way to do it. That stinks. Lastly, we got to get the bumper on. This guy right here needs to go on the front. What I really kind of want to do is I want to break out the sandblaster and kind of get a lot of this because that's really heavy, flaky rust. And give her a good spritz of Rust-Oleum. I'm just going to paint it black. It'll match. Look, bed's black, running board's black, bumper on the back's black. Why not make the front bumper black? You know, it's fine. But I think I'm going to wait until tomorrow to start some of that because it's 4 o'clock, got a few hours of daylight left, and I really do want to get to work on the Jeep just to see if I can make some progress on it because I don't want to bring it to a dealership. That's going to be really, really expensive to have somebody fix that thing. I mean, I know it'd probably be done right, and I know they've probably seen that sort of thing before, but I'm way too proud to do that sort of thing. So, yeah, we'll see if that works out or not. But I'm going to get to work on that with the remaining daylight I have left, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, next day. I'm not going to mess around too much. We're going to try to get the brakes bled, and then probably work on sealing up the truck a little bit better. If the brakes actually come out a little bit better, that would be nice. I don't really have a lot of faith in that, but there's no sense in not trying, right? So let's do that. Get the wheels ripped off, pull out the, wherever that thing went. Oh, there it is. The Temu one-way valve, see if that does anything whatsoever. By the way, I've actually reached a point in my life where I usually don't get to. My daily driver has been broken for electrical issues for days, weeks maybe. I tried my best to fix it. It's past the realm of my knowledge or anything like that. So I'm like, you know what? For the first time in a long time, I think I'm just going to throw the towel in on that and just take it to a dealership because it's outside of the realm of my knowledge. And that's very rare, you know? But when you're dealing with like possible wiring harness issues, that's it. My hands are up in the air. I'm not doing that. To heck with it. Oh, yeah, we should also figure out the fan switch because I got these new switches in, and I don't want to use a three-way switch for an on-off, you know, especially if it's only one direction. Up is on, down is off. If you accidentally flip it down because you say, oh, well, it moved that direction, but the fan doesn't come on, well, what the hell good is that for us? So one way, you can't mess it up, and it's even lit, so it's got a little light at the end of the switch, so you'll know it's on or not. So we'll get that put in too. Why not? I got nothing else to do today. All right, well, the brake pedal feels marginally better after that, I guess I could say. I don't know how it's going to feel when we put vacuum to it when it's running, because it would feel okay before, and then it would go halfway down with the brake booster. I mean, it would stop, but not very well. At least now, the pedal feels like it has a little less throw. And before I bled it, I was like putting my foot on it and I could feel it kind of starting to come down and then stop again. So it told me probably air in the lines. And I could swear that I saw air come out of the rear brakes. What I do is I put one of those little magnetic reservoir things, like the self-bleeders, with the tube that comes down onto whatever the bleeder is. If you got calipers or, you know, drums or whatever, you know what I mean. Hit the bleeder and you usually see fluid, and if you see a bubble come up through the fluid, usually that's not a good sign. And I could swear I saw one in the back, and then I came in here and I pumped the pedal back up, and it felt better on the first pump, and then I held it, and it doesn't seem to go down at all. Now, I could be gun shy, and maybe I'm getting false readings from my leg, who knows, but I'm really ready to put the wheels back on. And I'm honestly ready to put it on the ground. I want to take one last look at all the fittings underneath, make sure they're not leaking, make sure we have no pass-through. I've already gone through and tightened them, though, but it wouldn't hurt to look again. put the wheels on, and I would love to kind of put it on toe plates, but this garage is so like unlevel that I'd have to shim that side up to get it to be level. But if we could at least get some toe in this thing, at least we'll know if it's going to track straight or not. I'm going to do a full alignment on it later, but for right now, we just got to make sure that the thing is able to move. I'll tell you what, though, sitting behind that seat after all the work that we've done, seeing the steering wheel in front of me and having a gas and a brake pedal, gauges, switches, lights, a running engine, the truck that moves, having floor mats. I'm sitting here daydreaming about driving it. And it's like, holy cow, I probably could. Which is really kind of neat, I'll be honest with you. I do want to put the front bumper on as well, but I should probably do that with it in the air because it would be a lot easier to reach. But we really need to do some really dirty work to get that ready. So for now, I'll put the tires on, but the front bumper assembly needs to come off. I want to clean this up, and you can see how scaly and gross the rust is. It's untreated, you know? And I don't feel like buying new stuff for this thing. So what I should do is, since it's not too bad out, go put some boots on or whatever, because I got just the worst shoes for shop environment ever. I'm going to take this outside. I might go drag out I don't know, it's over there in the corner somewhere, sandblaster that I have, because I finally figured out why it wouldn't work, and it was all my fault because I put the sleeve in way too far so media wouldn't come out. So now that that's fixed, I guarantee you it works, and smash some black beauty into it until all of the stuff is off of it, and I can get at least a coat or two of some Rust-Oleum semi-gloss black on it. And if you like things in your eyes and your hair and up your nose and in your ears and in your mouth and everywhere across your yard, get a sandblaster. It's a great idea. No, it's not. But I have a spot blaster as well, like the little canister dealie that you can use. I thought it was over here. It's not anymore. It must be over, I don't know, in my spare tools section. But it's basically a sandblaster, but it's kind of like a smaller version of one. It's handheld. I'm not using that. I'm going to use the big one. That way I don't have to refill the can about 13 times in order to get that done. So I think it's time for a wardrobe change, and maybe we'll get this done. That would be really, really good. It would also make me feel a lot better. The final piece of the body. That bumper and the bumper kick plate, or whatever you call it, top plate, what are those things? Whatever. It ties the bumper in. And when you break down, it's a great step for when you have to step up into the engine bay and find something. They were thinking ahead. But that's the last piece. By the way, it is freshly painted. That's not going to dry gloss. That is semi-gloss. That will eventually dry to a little bit more of a sheen, but not really flat, you know? And I think the black bumper is way better than having a big white bumper with a red top. I think that ties it in way better because if you look at the overall scheme of the thing, I mean, yeah, the front fenders are different, so there's no more red, but you can't buy that kind of natural patina. I think I'm just going to leave it for that old hot rod look. Bondo sucks, I know. Don't have to tell me about that twice, but the running boards are black, the bed's black, the rear bumper's black, the front bumper's black. Simple, right? So I think that ties it in pretty well, and I think it's easier to maintain because you get some chips in it, scrapes, whatever. Rust-Oleum rebuild. So, golly, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, this thing is, she's pretty tied in. We just got to put the hood on. I just need a real puke tank because that's probably not going to fly. So the brakes feel a little bit better. Let's see, we got to do at least a little bit of caster camber toe. If I could just get the toe set to move it outside, that would be fine. Because at least I'll know that it's close. And I can do the whole thing later when I get it registered. But the whole plan is to have this thing on the road going to get ice cream this summer. We've already passed a whole bunch of tests. It does move. I don't know if it goes through all the gears, though. It does stop, mostly. I don't know about now. The body's on it, all the lights work, and the thermostat works because I had it running, and the thermostat opened, and I had the fan on, and the temperature came down. So that's a huge win. So, just we're inching ever closer, and I'm thinking at tomorrow, maybe, I'll put the wheels on it, get it back on the ground. Maybe we'll throw some just very basic front alignment at it, and maybe try to get the hood on because I'm not lifting that hood. That hood is 1950s steel. It is two-piece, by the way. It is right down the middle. There's a big seam, and they used to put trim over that seam. I've been trying not to choke, by the way, because of all the stuff that I've basically inhaled, like silica and stuff. That's why my face is all red. I was just coughing off camera, and I cut it out. But yeah, from that sandblasting, I was doing it blind because it was hitting me in the face so much. I just held a cardboard up, and I'm like, there you go. That's done now, right? So yeah, tomorrow. That's our plan, and I'll see you then. Okay, next day, I don't have a heck of a lot of time, but I am out here at least to do a couple things. First of which, we got to put the wheels back on. Then I want to put it on the ground and check toe. Just real quick. Again, I don't have a heck of a lot of time today, but my overall goal right now, if I could spit that out, is that I want this thing to be out of the shop come the end of the video because my race car has to come back in here and I don't have a lot of time. So I need this thing down on the ground. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with all this crap in the truck bed too. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff. A lot of it doesn't stay in here. Like there's 2 boxes of carburetors that need to go. There's some door cards I have to put in the truck anyway, so those will leave. There's a box of wiring, so a lot of that will just kind of go back in the shop where it belongs. Oh, I got to cover that hole too. But I want this thing at least to have tow because I plan to kind of take this thing down the road just to test it out, just to see if it functions. I don't want to just kind of move it in the yard and say, there, that's done. No, I want to take it down the road and just kind of eyeball it. Just make sure that it functions properly, at least from a driveline perspective. If we can do that, that would be kind of project done at this point, and I can put it aside and know that it's pretty much ready for me to do whatever's next. So I do live in a place that is private, by the way. And if I do take it down the road, it's not a public road, so it's not really a huge deal. So at least I got that going for me. You know, this came out way better than I was hoping for because the front end kit that I put on this was kind of like a Mustang style, like tube and nut and Heim joint kit. course, it's not made for this truck, clearly, but I put a Mustang rack in it, and I just put that kit on it, hoping it would work, and that I wouldn't have to, like, cut anything. And with it turned all the way in, it was towed in like an inch. So I'm like, oh, thank you, God, I don't have to, like, cut any of the tie rods or anything down to make it fit or whatever. So we got the tow pretty much set. I mean, it's as close as I can get it with a bar, and anybody telling me, oh, you should use plates and two tape measures. Listen, I've gotten such awful results with plates and tape measures. That's why I use a Trammell bar, because it's solid. You can't bend it. It's 1-inch steel. So I always get accurate results with that, and that says that it works. Anyway, this thing is, you know, I came to think of it, and I'm like, wow, this thing is about the size of my race car, this truck. It's got a little bit more wheelbase, but I didn't even change the bar, like the width of the bar, and it fit pretty much exactly like the race car. It's probably a hair wider, and it's got more wheelbase. But these trucks are not that big. Like, my shop is not big, but I can walk around it, and I can work on it. So, next thing on the agenda, besides the puke tank that I still haven't gotten for it yet, and looming some of the wires up, which, by the way, I found all that wire loom material, the little plasticky stuff for putting wires in, that my neighbor had given me. I hadn't thrown it away, which shouldn't surprise me. I don't throw away anything. So, there you go. Next thing up, besides those little things, I think we get the hood on. I mean, we just had some sleet come through, but I say we put it on and finish this look, because tomorrow I'm going to try to get it out of here, even if I can't right now. The mud is actually getting better, even though it absolutely poured last night, enough that it woke me up. That's a lot. But the mud seems to be not as bad. It's not as soupy as it was. So with that kind of coming around, if we get a couple dry days that's above freezing to get this place dried out, I might end this video off by driving my dad's truck for the first time since probably my mom drove it 30 years ago. Maybe more, maybe less. I don't know how many years it's been. It's been a long time. But that would be a fun way to end this project, huh? Take it down the road. You'll see it again in the future, clearly, but for now, we're done as much as we can be. So there's a few more things I do want to button up before we really, really end it off for the season, because racing season is going to take up pretty much all of my time. That race car's coming in here for the next video, so that's why everything's got to get moved, but I'm not ending this until I drive it. I'm not. And with a little bit of elbow grease and a lot of swearing, not only do I have the truck charging so that the batteries are good in that, because I haven't run it in, I don't know, 2 months or more, but all the excess 51 Chevy truck parts are now in the truck, actually no, in the trailer. Sorry, Mom. If you need your trailer, I'll go clean it out. All that I have left are this cart that's sunk in the mud, this engine stand that I broke another caster off of because it was stuck in the mud when I was trying to, or actually no, it was mud, and then it was ice, because I had to move it to get the old chassis out when I sold it, so I need more casters for that. This is stuck in about that deep of mud with all these transmissions on it, so it weighs about 80 tons. So those are the only two things left in my way, but they aren't iced in anymore, because now the stuff is unfreezing. I got the hood in as well. That's drying off. I'm falling down. There we go, caught myself. And we're good. Hopefully that'll dry out pretty darn quick and I can get it on here. Well, I don't even need it to be dry to get it on here, but I really got to remember to get a puke tank, and they're really easy to get. I just stop at any auto parts store and they're going to have one. So that'll probably be on the agenda for tomorrow. Also, I got to find a place for all my snowplow parts. That's easy. I'll probably just chuck that in the basement out of my way. So, things are coming together, thankfully. As long as we can get this hood on, it'll protect the engine. Oh, you know what I should do? While I'm in here, and I got a couple extra minutes left, I should probably go in and scrape these door what are they called? Channels? Area? Let me show you. Here. Where all the spiders live. Because I have some seal, like window trim or door seal that I bought off of TikTok, which is kind of funny. But I did a test piece of this, and My God, does it stick well. I'll tell you what, it took me everything just to get that test piece off. So if I just kind of wipe this down, this isn't really going to make a whole lot of difference to this poor thing, but it'll stop a lot of rain and road noise and wind. I mean, we got areas here where it's not going to do a damn thing because, well, reasons. But it's going to stop a lot of it. And if I can keep as much water out of this truck as possible, because you know, some way or another, there's going to get rain in this thing, or it's going to be out in the rain, or something's going to happen where I get trapped, or whatever happens, I want it sealed up. And if I have any left over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it right here where the stock one was, across the hood. And when the hood closes, at least that'll stop stuff from running down into the back of the engine where the distributor is. So maybe that'll make a difference, maybe not. But again, I'm just trying to make it as roadworthy as possible, and that's going to help. Also, back here, remember we moved the shock mounts down with the little tab? Well, I jumped on the back of it, absolutely no problem. So we cleared that up. All the tires kind of tucked pretty good. I think the front is still a little bit tall compared to the rear. But you know what? That's fine. We can always adjust that in the future. We can take half a link off of a spring, or we can even get a different spring. Who cares? At this point, she's pretty damn low. I know she's on block, so it looks a little deceiving, but I think the tires are going to tuck pretty well. I think the width is like perfect. If that, you know what? If it bumps hard, that might catch. I might have to roll the inner fenders, but that's not a huge deal. We can just throw a baseball bat in there and let her roll forward. Just do it the old school way. And it's got a little lip that's a little angled, so we could clear that up pretty quick. But I think I'll take a couple minutes just to do a couple more things that I can do before I got to go in for the night. And I think they're going to really help out. Didn't quite finish up. I wanted to get the door trim put in this one. I got it over on the driver's side. I got the door card in, cleaned up, got the handles put in, got the windows working. So this is all pretty much done except for the trim piece, or the seal, I should say. And I gotta, again, figure something out for that. But everything can wait until tomorrow. Back for the next day. Today is, well, a self-imposed D-Day. I have been working to get this thing cleaned off for the most part, cleaned out for the second part, and kind of finished up enough for me to try to take this thing down the road for the first time in, 30 years-ish? It's been a long time, but let me show you a few of the things that I've been busy with while trying to prepare for this moment. You'll notice a lot of the bed is gone. Well, not the bed, but whatever was in it is gone. I have to find a place for a lot of it. Well, the other lot of it was just kind of garbage. I couldn't use any of it, so all of it went into the parts trailer that I'm kind of collecting. Hopefully the battery in my truck is actually charged. This one's fine. I did secure the battery. I threw a couple screws in here. So, I thought that was kind of better than that. Whatever. Oh, yeah. I guess that doesn't really sit down there very easily. Maybe I'll have to duct tape that on. Anyway, this should be good to go down my little private dead-end road because it's only like half a mile long. But I still have to clean some stuff up. I did manage to get a few things done. I put the trim piece in here. I don't think this is going to do anything, but hey, it might help. I also did this. Now, I had to push harder. There it is. I painted the inside of that, and I put the actual glove compartment in, and look at that. Door card got put in last night. Handles got put in as well. Cleaned it out a little bit. There was some stuff in there still. So that should be good, but right now, what I'm working on is I got to get the hood on because I want that final piece to be on this truck when we go to try to drive it down the road, and it's kind of got to sit outside, even though I'm going to have it tarped about 14 different ways until I can get it over to the garage at my mother's house where it can live a lot more quietly. So all these need to be pinned in. I have to put these 2 bolts on each side, and I have to slide this 150 million pound hood into place. Look at that, huh? It doesn't fit very well, I'll be honest, but I mean, I didn't really expect it to because, well, I mean, I can literally reach in here, but it's still, I don't care at this point. I really don't. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, I'll figure out how to push it back together, but the hood is kind of screwed. I mean, I could try to lift it up one-handed to show you, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but look at that. It actually stays up. The springs are great. They work perfect, but I guess I'll go over here because this side is the more telling. These are supposed to be bolt-in hoods, but if you look at where their arms are located, somebody's welded bolts and then drilled through them like pins, and I don't know if they're located properly, but I don't have much choice otherwise. So the hood holds up and it closes. And it doesn't come back up, apparently. Oh, yeah, that ain't going nowhere. But check it out. She's done for now. I think now would probably be the time to go move my Jeep, which is broken and it needs to go to the dealership, which is scheduled to do. The truck and trailer, which hopefully has charged. I have had it charging overnight. And see if this thing will go down the road and take its first ride in over, I don't know, man. It's got to be around 30 years. It really has to. I want to look up the year. It's got to be like 28 or 29 years. I'll look it up. I'll get back to you. I'm sure I'll put something here at the bottom of the screen. But I can't believe it, but it might be time. So you'll see the smoke in the background. I tried to get her fired up just to warm it up, just to see if I could get it running. Because I'd noticed it had been running kind of poorly last time I tried to run it. And I think I figured out a problem. My rebuilt Edelbrock that I put together and slapped on here will not run. Matter of fact, it won't let fuel in. It keeps running out of fuel, but the pump is working. So I think the float keeps sticking and stopping fuel from coming into the carburetor. So that's fun. In order for me to get this thing out and take a test drive, however, I'm going to have to resort to, well, my first option. I need you again, old Holly. I really hate it because I've changed the carburetor on this thing how many times already? And we haven't even gotten it on the road yet. Too many, I think is the word you're looking for. So I don't know what the hell. Now, I've run into a problem I didn't expect. Apparently my fuel pump isn't pushing fuel as much as it should. And I think I found out why. If you look, oh, that's not a flashlight. You look down here, that fuel line's kinked off. I don't remember it being kinked off, but I'm also going to have to fix that somehow. I might just start a fire. I think I'll rinse this off with water first. Come in from the backside. I'm going to have to take the tire off in order to do it. And, figure out where it is, because I can see there's an air gap. And just kind of notch some of that inner fender well and yank it back and then just leave it. I don't know. I'm not going to be fancy about it. And then just kind of, try it again, because I have my other fuel pump out, but I don't think these work. And I think that thing is pretty kinked off. So I'm going to give it a shot. Hopefully that fixes it, and I don't have to actually change the carburetor, because I think it's just not able to draw enough fuel. You know, it's pretty amazing what you can do when an engine gets fuel. Thing fired right up, ran perfectly. I was all worried that the carburetor was junk. I was worried that the float had stuck. I was worried that the fuel pump had died. Nope, just kinked. I don't know why I overlooked that before. I thought it was fine. It actually ran until now. But, well, the engine, you know, it's on rubber mounts, so it can move. Putting the fenders on probably moved the inner fenders. It probably kinked it a little bit. I just took and I notched a big hole so that the hose could come up. I put some wrap over it. Good to go. Matter of fact, while I'm standing here, let's check how it restarts. And we won't even touch the gas. Well, I guess we got to touch the gas a little bit. She's a little rich. Oh, but she's rowdy, I'll tell you what. By the way, the brakes feel way better now. Like, I can put her in reverse. Like I said, she's a little bit rich, so you gotta clean her out a little bit. She's moving! Alright. So the anticipation, I gotta leave it at that because we gotta get this stuff out of the way in order for us to actually try it. Now, trying it is the last part and the last headache and the last real worry that we're gonna have with getting this thing on the road, because yours truly rebuilt the transmission. Professionals built the rear end. So we'll see how that goes. Well, professionals built the engine and the rear end and everything else. My dad was a professional engineer, so he did a lot of this, but I think we're going to go clean this stuff out. Wait for the wife to get home because I need somebody to film this thing. And let's see if we can get her on the road. Well, everything's out of the way. I guess it's time. It's kind of surreal if you think about it. You know, this thing has sat here for... I tried to do the math in my head. My dad was born in 47, I want to say. So that means his 50th birthday would have been 97. And it's 2026. So, yeah, just shy of 30 years by my math. And anybody who's watched or knows me knows that my math is impeccable. So, for the first time in 30 years, may I present to you Roger's Ride. All right, I'm in the truck. It moves. Let's take it down the road. I know it's dark and I apologize, but we're gonna see what we can do. Let's test the brakes while we're at it. Oh, they work. They're not good, but they work. She goes, I'll tell you what. I don't think that's accurate. I think I'm still pushing coolant for some reason, but it is only 180. It did come down. It was above like 190, and the thermostat opened. Oh God, I forgot no power steering. But we'll get it home and check her out.
I could hear him half a mile down the road.
Let's take a look-see under here, one-handed, because that always works. There we go. Oh yeah, she's still pushing coolant for some reason. Oh, she's pushing coolant that way. Man, I need an overflow tank. Why haven't I gone yet? What? How do you get out? Push or pull the handle?
Oh. So
Perfect.
it's push.
Oh, she's puking a little bit out the cap, which, like I said, I think I overflowed it or overfilled it a little bit, but it's not leaking nowhere else. So temperature was 180, pressures were good. Brakes kind of stink, but they're brand new, so they all have to break in. Otherwise, that was a successful test. Steering wheel's a hair off to the side, but it's got all the gears if you make sure you put it in drive. I'd say that was pretty successful. Well, the CO2 alarm is beeping away again, but I decided to put her back in here instead of leaving it outside and covering it up because this was just easier. And I think that's probably about it for the truck now. I really got to get that puke tank. This thing is still steaming. It's not overheating. I think it's just full. And it needs to expel because it expands, and it's only got a 19-pound cap in it. And my dumb ass still hasn't put one in, but I keep walking in here and seeing steam come out of it. But I'm just super, super unbelievably happy with the results. Steering wheel, a little off. Not sure if it pulls or not, but we didn't do any caster camber yet, so... And the toe, I forgot to pull the pins on the toe plate, so that was really stupid, so the toe could be way out. So we'll have to do that whole thing again. It's still steaming at me. But it takes a while for that stuff to burn off because antifreeze doesn't really evaporate and it takes a while to steam. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging in there with me on this project. I know that this was a long and tedious project or process, but, you know, it was really meaningful to me. And I really appreciate every single one of you coming and watching. And I know my views absolutely tanked during this whole process. And it might not be people's cup of tea to watch somebody build essentially their dream and to watch a family project that's been sitting for 30 years come to life. People have no attention span for that, and that's fine. I mean, I can't make you like things. I like to watch videos that are less than 2 parts too. But, you know, sometimes you got to just do things for yourself. And this was more for me than anything else. And I hope you guys enjoyed some of it. And I kind of think the process was fun, you know, watching somebody do something like this. So the video's not over. But today it kind of is because we got a good test run down in the block and back. We didn't overheat. We got to break in the rear end. We got to break in the brakes. We got just so much to fix and adjust and do all that. But you know what? For right now, my dad's truck, she's done. And you know what? I really hope he's happy with it wherever he is. The rest of my family's pretty stoked about it too, you know. I just want to get it to the point where I can hand the keys over to somebody and have them just take it out and go for a ride. You know, that would be great. I also need to change the settings on the carburetor because I was tuning it the other day with no fuel going to it. So she's a piggy fat rich little thing. So we got to fix that. But tomorrow the race car's coming back. And I can't wait. And I'll see you then. All right, it's the next day. I actually had my brother come by, and he took the truck out for a spin. What'd you think?
I loved it. It's like kind of like a monster Frankenstein, whereas it's something that used to be dead, brought back to life, has a lot of power, and could potentially kill its creator.
Potentially, maybe, definitely, if we don't fix those brakes,
Yes.
because that is an absolute horror show. Steering's a little wonky. Brakes are definitely bad.
But it's a lot of fun. What can you say?
Yeah, it's cool. Speedometer definitely doesn't work. You got to multiply it by at least 2. So it does work. It's just not
But
accurate.
officer, I was only doing 45 miles an hour. Yeah, it's 80.
Yeah, you're
Clocked
doing...
you doing 80.
Yeah, we're going down the road. I'm like, why does it only say like 15? He looks at his phone. It's like, we're doing 30, 25, 30. I'm like, yeah, it sounds better. So, all right. Truck is out, as you could probably tell. And the baby is sitting in the trailer waiting to come back in. Clearly, that's going to be next video, but we're going to get it out at least. And we're going to put it back up on jack stands because now we've got about 6 weeks to racing season. 5 for me because I'm going on vacation for a week. And I think it doesn't need a heck of a lot. We can take a look at it when it gets in here. And with that, the chapter of the truck saga ends. It's not over. We still got a lot left to do on it. But the race car is back. We have to get this thing ready in the next 6 weeks, which should be pretty possible. I mean, all we're really going to do is just kind of freshen up a bunch of stuff, put a coat of paint on a few things, clean it up, and just kind of put it on the racetrack. I mean, I've got a nose and a tail for it. We're going to put some fresh sides on it because we really used her up, I'll tell you what. Got a new window net and belts because they're out of date. But otherwise, I mean, we'll wipe her down. Probably pack wheel bearings, or maybe I'll even replace the bearings and seals to start the season off fresh. And I'm not really changing a lot. Like, I think we got some new exhaust pieces to put in. But otherwise, yeah, we're not really doing a hell of a lot to this thing. Other than moving the hood pins, because I'm not using Zeus buttons anymore. I hate them. Got some fresh stuff over here that it looks like I just put in at the end of the year, so that doesn't need to be changed. And like I said, let's see, front bumper is good. She's a little denty, but if it works, don't replace it. Who cares about that dent there? Who cares about it caved in right here? Like, let's see, there's a little bump here. A little bump here. But like, if it works, again, don't mess with it. You know, you don't need to change things if they don't need to be changed. Rear bumper is junk, though. We will need to put a new one on. That's not a huge deal. So that can be added to the list. And back here, everything looks about the same as it used to. So I don't even think we're going to redo half of the wrap. I think when I call Tommy up to get the wrap, we're going to have it look exactly the same. But we're just going to wrap over a lot of it. Like, we'll probably go from here down and just send it because the top is already done. Trunk's done. Hood's done. And we're just going to use the same scheme over. So even that is pretty much game on. So other than a quick refresh, like plugs and oil, take the winterization out of it, put some water in it. I don't even know if I'm going to change the transmission because I had rebuilt that at the beginning of last year and it was fine. I had nothing wrong with it. There was no whines or anything. I got 2 other fresh transmissions sitting here waiting. The rear end was pretty fresh. It was less than half a year on it so far. Like I said, there's not a lot that I really have to do. I mean, I might go through this rear end if I plan on running it and just kind of take a look at the axle bearings, but like otherwise it's probably fine. I mean, there's a lot of maintenance that goes into a race car, but some of it, you know, you don't know if you're putting a bad part in as well nowadays, because sometimes parts are just garbage right out of the box. And if something's working, your best bet might be just to stick with it. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, but 6 weeks is a decent amount of time, especially for somebody experienced in this type of stuff like I am. Putting a body on is really no big deal. And the work that we have is going to be so much less than that truck. It's kind of mind-blowing. So anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. That's enough for this video. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me on the truck project. It means so much to me, and to have like my brother come and drive it and the smile he had on his face, he's like, I can't believe I'm driving Dad's truck. And that was really cool. And as soon as my mom comes home, she'll probably be getting in it. Hopefully we'll see it again in the future pretty soon. I mean, we will. We're going to see it again. Clearly, it's going to be on the channel more, but just not right now because racing season is starting to take over. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody you can. Try to help me out with this channel as much as humanly possible if you like it. Subscribing helps a ton because it helps with the algorithm, it helps with reach, it helps with all that stuff. What helps me directly, though, is to go to GleasonBrosRacing.com. Why the website? Yeah, we race if you're new to the channel and haven't seen us race yet. Also, got a few up here. Hats, t-shirts, stickers, what else do we have? Koozies, tumblers, those are really great, by the way. Golf shirts, you name it. We have all sorts of stuff, novelty and race team stuff, GleasonBrosRacing.com. So until next time, when we get this thing back underway, guys, I really appreciate every single thing that you guys have done for me. I know we took a dump in the ratings and in the view counts, but you know what? That project was for me and for my family. And if you guys hung around and watched it the whole way through, then you know what? You guys are family too. And I appreciate it so much. I think I've said that about 50 million times, but I really do. And I've been talking for too long, so I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys again. I'll see you next time when we get back to racing.